Satnam, blessings, Vaheguru, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. We are now into the Supplementary Chapter 2 of the book Sikhing Success and Happiness. And there are a number of supplementary chapters which are based on Sikh hymn singing, generally called Kirtan. I call it Gur Sangeet. I have a very strong belief that Gur Sangeet is actually a form of meditation. It can be up-tempo, Sufi style, Qawwalis. It can be sort of based on classical modes, or it can be based even on folk music, generally to reach the inner self. So this first one, which is supplementary chapter 2, is a general one which I would like to introduce to you. We will have it in two parts, A and B. A is the sort of theoretical part that I'll explain, and B, I will do a bit of practical so that you get an idea of what I'm trying to say. And then after that, when we do the next chapter, the supplementary chapter 3, it will be a different mode. You'll be able to understand that a little bit better. So this is called Sikh Devotional Music as Meditation. Sikh Devotional Music as Meditation, Part 1, Theory. These are notes from workshops conducted at folk and arts festivals and seminars around the globe. These are of use to musicians who wish to get a rudimentary understanding of North Indian raga scales, and also a good starting point for Sikh youth who wish to study Kirtan or learning how to sing shabads, Sikh hymns. Even before I start, I'd like to make mention of the fact that generally when Kirtan is taught to youngsters, Sikh youngsters, the first thing that the teacher normally does is plonks a harmonium in front of the student, and the whole focus of the student is how to play the harmonium. My father's method was different. He never taught me how to play the harmonium. He taught me how to sing in tune and also internalize the sound. And to me, the harmonium came naturally as an add-on to the vocals. Like I said, most youngsters learn the harmonium and their whole focus is always in the harmonium, even when they're singing shabad. So the singing is from up here. It's not internalized. So I don't know what there's no spiritual benefit to that. So the proof of what the method I learned went on to teach my daughters in the same way. None of my daughters learned how to play the harmonium. Correct me if I'm wrong. But they learned how to sing to the note. And I also have to be very grateful to Sardar Bhajan Singh of the Singapore Sikh Education Foundation of yesteryears, who took me on as a consultant to teach Kirtan to the youngsters, and we were able to come to an understanding that I do not teach with the harmonium, and we actually started doing Kirtan in choir form. So you have 30 or 40 kids standing up, and after tuning themselves into one note, which I call the sa, the breath, sa, 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 they all used to sing various kavtas, spiritual kavtas, poems, and also Gurbani shabads. And if they needed a rhythm, there used to be another youngster who used to stand on the side and give a very basic rhythm with a stick. That's it. Nothing else. No other instruments. So it proved very good because the youngsters learned how to sing in tune. My father used to say, treat each musical note as an altar. You go to each note and you pay your respects as you would to an altar of that note. For example, the very first note, the sa. Sa is normally that note after which you can hit about another 4 to 5 notes below that, and of course, a whole scale of 8 notes above that. And basically, we follow what in Western terms I loosely call the major scale, or in Sikh parlance, it's the Bilaval Scale. If you play from the C note on the harmonium, for example, it's all the white notes. Don't touch the black notes, just the white notes. So, and to find that, I'm not doing it with the Tanpura now, but I'll give an explanation later. You have to internalize yourself, think within, and the sound comes from your navel point. What my father used to call the point of the sleeping point of the spirit, the soul. So, focus yourself and you go sa, sa, and you are attempting right from the beginning to internalize the sound to virtually make your navel point vibrate. The tunni, ton in Punjabi, ton comes from the tunni. That's the sa note. But we'll come to that later as a practical exercise. I shall read through quickly the chapter, which is part A, the theory, then we'll move on from there. So, for the sake of the regular reader, I have spared you the technical details, which are in an appendix for the serious student of music to peruse. The preamble. Human understanding is that Moses found God in a burning bush on a remote mountaintop. Muhammad found Allah in a remote cave. Buddha found enlightenment under the bow tree of knowledge. Jesus was perhaps closest to God on the cross. Confucius felt earth was out of kilter with heaven and could only be aligned to heaven through strict rituals. Nanak, the founder guru of Sikhism, just sang. He sang music, through music. He reached God within through music and God-inspired song, hymns. He sang, accompanied on the rebeck by his Muslim companion Bhai Mardana. All the 10 gurus sang hymns and some even played musical instruments. Some string instruments like the taus and the sranda were developed by the masters, the gurus, from older string instruments. Guru Granth Sahib, page 943. Shabd Guru, Surt Tun Chela. Shabd Guru, Surt Tun Chela. The Guru, the teacher, is the word. An attachment through soulful devotional music is the disciple. The word, in this case, means God-inspired verse, which we call Gurbani. On page 1075 of the Guru Granth Sahib, Kaljug mein Kirtan Pradana, Gurmukh Japiye Laye Dhyana. Kaljug mein Kirtan Pradana, Gurmukh Japiye Laye Dhyana. In this age of darkness, devotional hymn singing is the highest form of meditation. The Gurmukh, the Godward person, the one who believes in the Guru, the one whose face is towards the Guru, literally, sings in tune to the source of all reality in complete devotion. On page 8, सोदर तेरा केहा सो कर केहा जित पै सर्ब समाले Vaje tere naad anek asankha, kete tere vavanhare. It goes on, it's all about music here. What kind of doorway is the doorway to your mansion? What sort of abode is your mansion from where you oversee all of your creation? I know music is ever present there. Countless musical instruments, countless musical meshes, and countless minstrels to sing. That is the kind of doorway which Guru Nanak envisages is the doorway to the abode of the source of all reality. Therefore, Nanak's God is within musical hymn singing, and the path to God is through musical hymn singing. For me, my brand of music, which I call Gur Sangeet, the Guru's music, begins where language ends. Music is the language without any barriers. Music is food for the soul. Music helps us reach beyond the limitations of the mind. Music is played externally but realized internally. Taking our Gur Sangeet to non-Punjabi speaking Western audiences was an experiment in seeing whether Kirtan was a phenomenon that was not restricted because of language. Our success worldwide as a music group in Western audiences is proof that it touches the soul. You need not understand it, but you can feel it. It can touch you. It can move you. This is what my Guru says about what kind of music. Tan so raag surangade alpat sab tikh jai. Page 958. Blessed are those beautiful modes of music which, when chanted, satisfy all yearnings. Page 1423. Savana raga vich so pala pai jit vase man ai. Amongst all modes of music, that one is sublime, O siblings of destiny, by which God comes to abide in the mind. It is clear to me that music that touches the soul, the God in embryo within us, the Atma, is celestial music. It is also true that only one who is totally immersed within can deliver such music. So we reach within for the music in our soul. Page 922. It's the last stanza of the prayer called Anand Sahib. Anand sunovad pagi ho, sagal manorth pure. Listen and feel the unstruck melody within you, O fortunate ones. All your longings shall be fulfilled. It is one thing to learn and be well versed with the raga system of hymn singing, but it is entirely another to render from within. That rendering from within is therefore more important than the raga system itself. To sing from within, from the soul, is one thing. To sing to be technically correct without singing with feeling can become listening hell for the listener. And I don't like to push the point too much. I have heard some Gurbani Ragis who consider themselves to be Ragis trying to be as correct as possible where the tonation and where the raga is concerned. But for the listener, it can become listening hell because it becomes like a learning process rather than a presenting process. The purpose of this form of meditation allows one to awaken the spirit within from its base, the navel, and to recognize one's spirit, to become one with the spirit within and then allow it to journey to the Dasam Dwar, the 10th door. Buddhists call it the third eye. Right here, inside. It's supposed to be right in the middle of your head. We call it the 10th opening. The Buddhists call it the third eye. The Dasam Dwar is that imaginary point between the eyes and in the center of the skull. The resting place of the soul is at the navel, and it travels to its home when invoked through this method of meditation, to become one with you, enhancing your living and vibrancy towards your success and happiness. This is what the Guru has to say about the 10th door, Dasam Dwar. Vajaya Vaja Paun Nau Dware Pargat Kiye. Daswaं Gupt Rakhaya. Gurdware Lai Pavane Ikna Daswaं Dwar Dikhaya. Vaheguru. Page 922, also from the Anand Sevda part. He blew the breath of life into the musical instrument of the body and revealed the 9 doors. But he kept the 10th door hidden. Through the Guru's gate, some are blessed with loving faith, and the 10th door is revealed to them. So that is what that Gurbani lines, so dar tera keha, so kar keha, jitve sarvis mali. That is the Guru's gate. Some are blessed with loving faith, and the 10th door is revealed to them. So one needs to be aware of this Dasam Dwar, and with time, perseverance, yearning, and constant practice, grace descends and the Dasam Dwar is revealed. The secondary purpose is to use this as an exercise to train one's voice, to be enjoined with the spirit within, to be able to use one's natural voice as the voice from the soul, to strengthen one's voice and discover a growing sense of self-confidence as one's voice becomes stronger and in tune with one's being. Finally, to learn the rudimentaries of North Indian vocal exercise and dabble in the rag or raga scales of North Indian classical music. I do not wish to trivialize the serious study of the ragas, the basis of Indian classical music. This is only for those who wish to have some rudimentary understanding to complement the pursuit of music per se. To be proficient to sing or play an instrument based on the raga, the classical system of India requires years of practice and a very good teacher. So, now we come to the practical exercise. First of all, finding the bass note, sa, of your voice. As I mentioned to you, sa for me is the C note on the harmonium or on an organ, keyboard, the C note, and it travels to the C for the higher octave, and it's the major scale. But really, it is that note where you feel your navel vibrating. And the words, the Western words to this scale are do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And the scale is, if you have heard the sound of music, do, dia, fi, mi, dia, re, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, do, ti, la, so, fa, mi, re, do. I think I got the words right. But no, those are not, they are alien to me. Our words are sa. Sa to me means breath. It means the navel point where my soul is sleeping. And the words are sa, re, ga, ma, pa, dha, ni, sa. You can write them down if you like. Otherwise, you can pick them up from Google. Sa, re, ga, ma, pa, dha. The word is dha. There's a h sound in it. Dha, ni, nasal sound, and of course the top sa. So you look for that note which vibrates at your navel. For that, I will need to put on the tanmura. So this is the end of part A, and we will now record part B after that once I have set the tanmura. So we call a pause here.